All right, good afternoon, you guys. This is week 5 of our Zoom. We are almost done with doing with our course. We have 2 weeks, a little over 2 weeks left to go. I am doing a pre-recorded Zoom because I forgot to record our actual live Zoom that we just had. So this is a Zoom for week 5, and I'm just going to go through the same things we went through so that you guys can have the information if you need it. I've thoroughly enjoyed our time together, but our time is really, really coming to an end. We have about 2 weeks left in our course. And so if you are still, I don't know your trajectory in the program, but if you still need some classes, I'm teaching another class, Ed 752, which is a classroom management class, culturally responsive classroom organization and management. That class starts in March. So if you need that class, I'll be teaching that. And then I'm also teaching a June class in the summer, Ed 750, the history of urban education, which is a June session class. So those will be my next 2 classes that I'll be teaching through the LSU as master's program. So if you need those classes, please take them. I'll love to see you into those classes and provide the same types of learning experiences for those courses as well. So let's jump right in, you guys. This will be our last. Well, no, this week was our last live Zoom. The next 2 Zooms, or the next week 6 Zoom will be a pre-recorded Zoom, just like this one. I'll be traveling on next week during our scheduled time, so I'm just gonna have a pre-recorded Zoom as this one to just kind of go over some highlights and some information that you'll need for week 6 and week 7. Um, also, after this week, you guys, we have about 2 to 3 more assignments left to do. If you are missing an assignment from week 1, 2, 3, 4, even week 5, you guys should still have time to turn those assignments in to receive some points. Of course, I'm going to take some points off for being late, but you still can get majority of your points. After February 24th, I will no longer take any late assignments. So it's very important that you're getting your assignments done on time. So if you missed some forms, because I know some people probably started the class late or jumped into class late. If you are missing some forms, you guys, you can go and you can do those forms, but you cannot respond to other posts because those forms are actually closed. I'm gonna open them back up. So if you need to post, you can post and you still can get majority, at least 35 of those 50 points, which will put you in a decent range. What I don't want to happen is you guys, those assignments that you're missing turn into zeros and you end up getting a low score in this course, which you can have a decent passing score in the course. So please make up, look and check your grades and make sure you're doing all those assignments so that you don't have any zeros floating around out there after February 24th. So now let's reflect on our past learning tasks. The first one is the learning reflection assignment, you guys, with those 3 documents. What I wanted to see here in this assignment is how well you can synthesize our learnings from our readings and also connecting it to those documents. From chapters 1 through chapters 5, you guys, we've talked about, and the chapters have mentioned something about goals, that are mentioned about norms. It's also talked about student data, student growth, collaboration, long range plan, short term plan. All these things were exemplified in those documents. And so what I wanted you to do was I wanted you to connect the book to those documents and tell why it was important. And so overall, everybody did fairly well with those assignments, but that's what I was looking for when I was grading. Now let's talk about our 5 dysfunction assignment. Oh my God, you guys, this assignment was good. It was a really, really powerful assignment to me. You guys, I felt like I was at a virtual therapy session when I was reading them, because you guys were so absolutely transparent, and you critically analyze your teams or your school teams. So I enjoy reading. I also enjoy reading your posts that you responded to your other classmates as well. It lets me know that you had some strong takeaways from the book. If you ever get into a leadership role, you guys, I truly recommend using this book as a book study. Even the suggested activities in the book are great for team building. And I know a lot of you in your last assignment talking about what will be your next steps, and it was team building. How can you really, really team build? You guys, these some good strategies and activities are within this book. Every leadership team that I work with, and I work with 14 leadership teams, I always take the whole leadership team through a through this book as a book study, because it's very, very important. I don't care how great of staff that a school has, if their leadership team is not cohesive and not well versed around these 5 dysfunctions, there's going to be some issues, some problems that can get in and really kill that organization. So the leadership team is where the magic happens. So it's very important that they are on the same accord and they are really, really, really knowledgeable of those 5 dysfunctions so they can call those things out when they see them arise amongst teams within their school. So it's very important that with this assignment, you guys, that you carry this assignment with you as long as you go into your next role as a leader, because it's very important that you keep them at the forefront of your brain when you're being a leader, so that you can really, 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 really stop any of these little dysfunctions from rising up in your school. All I can say is Catherine she was a beast at this, at really, really being very strategic on addressing these 5 dysfunctions and how she handled it to save that organization. So our readings for this week, chapters 5 and chapter 6. With chapter 5, it talks about study groups, you guys. It talks about a teacher study group, online study group, a whole faculty study group, a book discussion study group, administrative study group, and also a student study group. And so the pretty much thing here with a study group is the only thing it's saying is a simple group of people who are meeting on a regular basis to address issues that the group has agreed upon to study. And so when we're thinking about a PLC is a really structure focused, looking at student outcomes and students and growing student learning. Whereas a study group, you guys, it can focus on anything. It can focus on student learning. It can focus on student work. It can focus on curriculum. It also can focus on any other interest that the group may have. So it's very flexible and more flexible than a PLC, but it has the same purpose. It builds professional community. The study group main focus is to build that professional community where that trust is being built in, where that reflective conversation, that dialogue, that collaboration, those things are happening by whatever you're studying. And then we move into chapter 6, which talks about learning through a classroom observation. And my thing is, you guys, when it comes to a classroom observation, if leaders are just going to a classroom just so they completed a walkthrough, you guys, it's a waste of time. And I'm really not a fan of it. If I go into a classroom, if you're going to a classroom, you should be going into a classroom with a purpose, and that purpose is to support that teacher and get a teacher feedback. And so the book's going to go talk about that on the reason, the purpose behind a classroom observation is to collect data so that you can able to support that teacher by making that teacher reflect and improve their instructional practices. So it's very important that when you're going in, you are meeting with those teachers and you're growing them and you're coaching them to improve their practices. And so those are our 2 readings for this actual week. And so our 2 assignments for this week: number 1, you're going to go back into the field and you're going to actually use one of the strategies that's on Tips for Leaders 5.3, and you're going to just try to implement it and then tell me how it worked, how it went, and what happened. Make sure you use your questions that's on your direction sheet and also your rubric so that you can get the maximum amount of points for that assignment. And then our next assignment that you're going to do that you're actually supposed to do is, let's see, I just had it here. Oh, you're going to plan a PLC using the 5 steps of effective learning. And you guys, some of you have asked about when you in the post, you see a lot of several, about 5 or 6 of our community of learners are in TAP schools and they work in TAP schools. So some of you have asked about TAP and you would like to know more about TAP. You guys, everything that I've been doing as far as the artifacts are TAP artifacts. All of those artifacts that you used last week for your learning reflection were TAP documents, you guys. I tell anybody, TAP is like a PLC on steroids. It's very well structured and it focuses on everything that we've talked about in this class and then also in this book. And so what I'm doing is I took the 5 steps of effective teaching. You guys, that's actually the framework that we do our PLCs with in TAP schools. And I want to see, can you plan a PLC with those frameworks? Even if your district don't have money to invest into a full TAP model or a full TAP implementation, you guys, you can always transform your PLCs or your PLC structures by using that 5-step process. It makes so that you can have a very, very strong PLC. And so that's pretty much what we talked about on the live Zoom earlier. Just want to make sure that you had those next 2 courses that I'll be teaching if you were interested in taking them, or if you haven't taken them already and needed some more courses to take. And also letting you know about the late assignments and the missing assignments. If you're missing something, please get those assignments done by February 24th so that you can receive credit. and you won't get a 0 in those spots that you're missing those assignments. And then just to give you an update on our assignments for this week, as well as the readings for this actual week. Again, this will be our this week was our last live Zoom, but it will be another Zoom, which is week 6 Zoom that will be posted. And then maybe based on where we are with grading and where we are with what I'm looking at and what I'm finding your work, maybe I'll do a week 7 Zoom right before you turn in your final project. And if things are looking well, I probably won't. We'll just communicate through email if you need me. You guys, it's been real. You guys take care. Have a good weekend. And I look forward to reading your week 5 assignments. Have a good one.